Alright, welcome. Welcome to explanatory videos for Sea of Stars Glitchless run. I'm going to break these down into sectionals based on act. So this first video will cover Act 1 of the game, up through the end of Eldermist. Starting off, we're going to set our relics. If you choose to do no relics, you'll want everything except for Mark of the Speedrunner turned off. And for the purposes of this video, and just the runs I normally do now, are no mystery locks. So I'm going to use the signifying glass. Feel free to use no relics in your run. Since the Dawn of Equinox update, the mystery locks add a new element of guessing to your run. So if you want to negate some of that guessing, feel free to go to no mystery locks. Here we go. So right off the bat, you can hold in your shoulder button as well as your accept and cancel button to do your cutscene skipping. We get tutorial battle. We're just going to mash through with the first two characters and then hold those buttons again to skip this text or speed through this text. Then we got healing light and solstice strike. Don't time the solstice strike. Just get out of there as soon as you can. And so at the top here, you have this like scroll that lets you skip through the introduction of the game. This is like, I think like 7 or 8 minutes if you want to do the introduction, but you're allowed to skip it. So this brings us to Forbidden Cavern. We're going to go for the first skip here, the slug skip. We're going to come in, try to go straight across. And so the middle slug didn't see us, which gives us the clearest shot to get over to this wall and climb up. Now, if your movement is a little off, or you're a little slow with it, the middle slug will see you and rush over. And you'll have to do a backup where you kind of jump off of the platform and wait for them to come closer. And then you can like climb back up and hope that he just doesn't look in the direction you need to go. So timers here, all 2s. Perfect. Sometimes the middle guy will have a 1 timer. This saves about 4 seconds, so you won't need to charge the sunball, just let it rip. Our first level up here, Valir is always going to take attack, and Zale is always going to take magic attack. So it's just easier to take that battle for multiple reasons. Number one being so that you don't have to dodge them multiple times as you're making your way through the room, which can be very difficult. And number two, because we skipped the introduction, we didn't do the battle with Word, we're still level 1. So we do this battle in order to get a level up before we go to Slug Boss, just to sort of catch ourselves back up. So multiple reasons why we do the battle in that room. Have a Leeching Thorn over on the other side. Feel free to grab that as you're learning the run. It's not a big time sink, and it will kind of help you from not dying. But as you get better, you'll probably find that you just don't really need it. And have to rest here to move on. And we have Slug Boss. General over here, you're just going to want to use Sunball as much as you can. It does a lot of damage, and he doesn't have sunlocks, so you're going to want to open up with it. I'm going to open up with a Crescent Strike, or Crescent Arc, and hope we don't get locks. We did, so this is the perfect set of locks you do want to see here if you get it, because you can use Solstice Strike to break this, and you don't have to worry about cleaning up any of his little friends here. So you get your Solstice Strike in early. Zale gets a regular attack to boost his MP. He's going to do another one to bring him to 8 MP and then do another Sunball. So he's ready to go. We'll sunball here, provided there's no locks. If you get locks, deal with the locks. Now I'm holding off on MP here in case he throws moon locks, but it doesn't look like he's going to. So he could potentially throw 4 moon locks here. We wouldn't want to see that. Oh, we're good. There it is. And so it didn't work out for me this time. Generally, like I said, you want to set this up in such a way where you would use Sunball as much as possible. So there should have been a 3rd Sunball from Zale here. I might be able to crank it out here if this doesn't kill. So if this didn't kill, you would use the Sunball next round. Just be done with it. But we're pretty low HP, so this could have went south really quickly. After the fight, come back here, grab these 2 chests. And we exit here. We're going to skip past another scene, and then we're going to hold right, so that when we come out of the scene, we're immediately moving right. A lot of scenes in the game kind of like allow you to move almost a little bit, like kind of before you see and like can actually start moving your character. So you'll notice a lot of times when you kind of come into a scene and you're holding a directional, it's almost like you jumped into the scene a little bit. Climbing there, you're going to want to make sure you're like at the far left so you have less scooting to do. Then you can just mash as soon as you're kind of close to the wall so that you climb up earlier. And this is a change in Dawn of Equinox. Normally you would kind of like go back to your flashback sequence. Now you're forced to go through the area, since you don't do it in the flashback sequence. So you just come in, you go left, grab your berries, make your jam, talk to Garl to end the scene. There's an abacus in that cave if you want it, but you'll be buying one pretty soon if you're following along with this run. So there's some armor in that chest, and we're going to get a fight here with 2 rams. I normally always open this up with Garl and just kind of go off of what we got here, so this is a weird one. I'm going to have to Moonerang regardless. This is probably one of the more bizarre ones I've seen. The goal here ultimately is to break one of them. If you can break both, fantastic. But ultimately you want to break one of them. And then whichever one didn't take the damage from that is the one you're going to want to hit the sunball with. So kind of like the opposite guy. Now, once you've seen timers, you can kind of adjust on what you need to do next, but generally you'll want to take Garl and just like bash out damage on the lowest. And then you can use Villier to do a Solstice for high damage on the remaining. So overall, that was fair. That moon configuration was a little bizarre. I would have liked to see 3 moons on one of them maybe, and then the 2 moons and a bash on the other, so you could break both, but that was kind of a bizarre one. And so with these next 2, you can normally just run right across. If your timing is good, you can just kind of go, and they're quite slow anyways, so don't worry too much about getting caught by them. Even if you have to like dip down a little bit, like they're quite slow and they're usually pretty easy to get by. So our shot, we're going to want to sell, skip your armor, sell all of your tomato club, buy sword, buy staff, buy 2 Papillo. And those are your revive items. And so you'll notice we haven't equipped our armor yet. That's coming soon. Here, if you're lucky enough to get this kind of synced up pattern, you can just run straight through like that. There is another pattern you can get, and I'll try to provide a separate video for that. Here, you're going to want to wait for him to look left, and he like heads down and then left. If you're really caught waiting for him, you can usually lure him down and then go. Here, you're going to want to wait for these two to be out of the way, and just kind of risk it with the third guy a little bit. Play it out. If he's too close, just back off and wait a minute and try again, or wait a second, try again. If you're feeling really risky, you can sort of loop them around the far right side, because you are faster than them, they're slower than you, so if you give yourself enough space, you can loop around them. But generally try to wait and go up that left-hand side. And for that last one, just kind of wait till he's not really looking. If he does catch you and starts chasing you, you can run up into the cave by the waterfall to kind of reset things when you come back out. Here in Eldermist Trial, this first fight, we're doing our live mana tutorials. So you'll want to attack with Zale, hold your tech speed up buttons, and then finish off with Valier. So we got 3 rooms here. Left, right, center. Everybody does them a little bit differently. I usually do left, right, center. I know some people do left, center, right, but I like to do left, right, center. So in left, you're going to start by going through these 2 guys to hit the switch, and then you're going to like hug the left wall as you come up through. And same thing at the top of the stairs. You're going to go through these 2 to bring the ladder down. We'll pick this up and back down to this switch again. So through the center, you're kind of like needling or threading the needle multiple times here. And so on this fight here, you're going to want to get a back attack. What I found is that as long as you're on the north side of the enemy, you'll always get back attacks on them. And so this is to prevent you from taking 2 attacks here. Because as you just saw, we got 2 one-timers there. We would have took 2 attacks if we didn't. And you would normally finish this fight in 4 attacks, but doing the back attack strat allows you to finish it in 3 consistently. So Valier and Zale have both taken damage now because of the ram fight and because of this last fight. So sometimes you can get away with just 1 person being damaged, and you can use Garl's Nourish to fix that up. In this case, since 2 people are damaged, I'm going to use a mushroom soup to kind of correct this issue. This will save us from having to campfire at the end of all this. We still need to do an equip as well, so we'll do that all at the same time. We'll pick that chest up there. That's a little bit of a sellable item for money. Money routing is rather tight in the early game. So you'll want to try to pick up everything that matters. Here, you can kind of jump down from that platform rather early and just hug the wall along the right-hand side as you make your way down. And when we get back up to the enemy group, you may have to, depending on the cycle, just dip down a little bit to lure this guy, kind of like that. Just so that you can like run mostly straight through without having to take the outside. Doing the little kind of dip and luring him down just like lets you kind of stay on the inside route of that. And then we have our center room. There are no enemies in this room unless you make a mistake. So the way this room works is you get questions and you have to answer them. If you answer incorrectly, you get a fight. So order is 1-1-2. The first question is answer number 1. Second question is answer number 1. Third question is answer number 2. And there's a little bit of an interesting thing you can do here. We'll see if we get it. Didn't get it on that one. So interacting with the plaque on the wall from a certain distance, and I think it's the distance that is like the most far away from it as possible, causes the game to recognize that it will, I don't know, take a little bit while longer to position the characters, so a speed up occurs on anyone following. So I think Garl got a little bit of a boost on that one, I'm not too sure. it's usually pretty evident when you get it. And I don't think it really saves a whole lot of time, but if you were to get all 3 of them, I suppose you might save like a second. We're talking like literally fractions of a second save probably by getting one of them. So, equip. To make this real easy, you're just going to want to equip the first thing that this falls on for each character. So you'll come into equip, first thing, first thing, first thing, and then you're good. You don't need to worry too much about what you're equipping. Just let the first down input do its work in what you're equipping on each person. With that, because 2 people were damaged, we're going to go Mushroom Soup. If it were just 1, you could go with Nourish instead from Girl. But with that, you're good. You don't need to Campfire. And so, Eldermist. The way this plays out is in the first round, you're just going to have a Valier attack, a Garl attack, and then you'll do a boosted Sunball with Zale. If you get all high rolls on this, you can take the arm out here like that. More commonly, what will happen is that the arm will kind of cling with a few HP, and you'll have to use Zale at the beginning of this round to take it out, which is fine. Either way, if that were to happen, normally the set of locks you'll get is Bash, Moon, Bash, giving Garl a chance to attack, and then Valier will have 3 live mana charges. In this case, we're just going to kind of follow suit with that. So because the arm is already down, we're just going to go attack with Zale. And because we're lucky enough that this is a 3-timer, we can still follow this cycle of like attacking to give Valier 3 boost for this Moonerang. So no matter what set of locks you get here, you're usually going to be able to tackle this without issue. I was looking for 24, but 22 is fine. Follow-up round, you're going to want to get MP back for Zale and Valier. So, provided there are no locks, just go attack. We used to use Solstice Strike to boost 3 MP on each character, but since Dawn of Equinox update, Solstice Strike now only boosts 1 MP on each character, so it's just not worth it. Now, we got really screwed here. This is really bad. So the arm is already up. This shouldn't have happened. I think this happened because we knocked the arm down in the first round. Is the most likely reason for that happening. So this is a really bad example of the fight. Hopefully your runs will go much better than this example video did. But essentially you would have boosted with Valier and used a 3 boost Moonerang again before the arm comes back so that you have a focused Moonerang on him specifically. And as soon as the arm comes back, you would normally kind of just clean up at that point with Zale's Sunball. Every now and then you'll get kind of a weird cycle, so it's actually preferred, like I said, that Zale finishes the arm as the first attack in the second round. And I guess that is a good example of what can happen when you finish the arm in the first round. Lock placement, or I guess like a lock turn, was a bit odd, so that is probably the most bizarre example of the fight that you would encounter during your runs. So here, I'm going to start in that cutscene by holding left on the beam, and then once it ends, you're going to hold right, and that kind of like causes the light to already be on the plaque as the cutscene ends. And so that's it. That's Act 1. Everything up through Eldermist, you'll talk to this guy here, and he will throw you over to the next island, and that's kind of where Act 2 begins. So we'll cut this one here and continue to pick this up in the next video for Act 2. All right, we'll see you there.